Hello. Today we present you a bedtime story about a group of friends who decided to find an ancient treasure. What happened next? No one expected it. Enjoy it. Let's go ahead and start.
The final expedition. The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting long shadows across the rugged landscape as Alex stood at the edge of a cliff, surveying the untamed wilderness before him. Jagged mountains loomed in the distance, their peaks shrouded in mist, while dense jungles below teemed with life, their vibrant greenery a stark contrast to the barren rocks of the mountainside. With a determined glint in his eyes, Alex took a deep breath, the crisp mountain air filling his lungs as he prepared to embark on his latest adventure. For as long as he could remember, he had dreamed of exploring distant lands and uncovering the secrets of ancient civilizations, driven by a thirst for knowledge and a desire to leave his mark on the world. As he turned to return to camp, footsteps echoed behind him, and he smiled as Maya emerged from the shadows, her face alight with excitement. Tall and slender, with piercing blue eyes and a mane of chestnut hair that cascaded down her back, Maya was a brilliant archaeologist whose intellect matched her beauty. "Alex, you won't believe what I found," Maya exclaimed, her voice tinged with excitement as she waved a weathered map in the air. "I think I've pinpointed the location of the temple we've been searching for." Alex's heart leaped with anticipation as he took the map from Maya's outstretched hand, his eyes scanning the faded parchment for any sign of the temple's whereabouts. Sure enough, there, nestled among the craggy peaks of the mountains, was a faint marking indicating the temple's location, a hidden gem waiting to be discovered. "Maya, this is incredible!" Alex exclaimed, his pulse quickening with excitement. "If this map is accurate, we could be on the verge of the discovery of a lifetime." With a shared sense of purpose, Alex and Maya hurried back to camp, where Marcus and Elena were waiting, their expressions a mix of curiosity and anticipation. Marcus, a grizzled mercenary with a weathered face and a no-nonsense attitude, regarded them with a skeptical eye, while Elena, a nimble-fingered thief with a mischievous grin, fiddled with a lockpick in her hands, her keen eyes darting from one member of the group to the next. "All right, spill it, Alex," Marcus said gruffly, folding his arms across his chest. "What's got you two so worked up?" Alex wasted no time in explaining their discovery, his voice filled with excitement as he laid out their plan to search for the legendary temple hidden somewhere within the mountains. Maya chimed in with additional details, her enthusiasm infectious as she described the potential riches and ancient artifacts that awaited them. For a moment, there was silence as Marcus and Elena exchanged skeptical glances, weighing the risks against the rewards of such an endeavor. But then, with a nod of agreement, Marcus grunted in approval, his lips quirking into a wry smile. "Well, you two certainly know how to make things interesting," he said, a hint of amusement in his voice. "Count me in. But let's make one thing clear, we're doing this my way, and no one gets left behind." Elena chuckled at Marcus's gruff demeanor, her eyes twinkling with mischief as she added her own agreement to the plan. With their team assembled and their resolve strengthened, the adventurers huddled around the campfire, their voices rising in excitement as they discussed the details of their upcoming expedition into the unknown. As the flames danced in the darkness and the night sky twinkled overhead, Alex couldn't help but feel a surge of anticipation coursing through his veins. For he knew that their journey was about to begin, a journey that would test their courage, challenge their convictions, and lead them to the greatest adventure of their lives. And with Maya, Marcus, and Elena by his side, he was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing that together, they were unstoppable. On the second day, the sun was just beginning to rise, casting a golden hue over the camp nestled at the base of the mountains. The adventurers were busy preparing for their journey. The air was filled with the sounds of rustling tents, clinking gear, and the occasional burst of laughter. Alex stood by the campfire, meticulously checking the map and compass. His brow was furrowed in concentration, ensuring their path was accurate. He glanced up as Maya approached, her eyes bright with excitement. "Ready for the adventure of a lifetime?" she asked, her voice brimming with enthusiasm. "More than ready," Alex replied, his own excitement mirroring hers. "We have a long way to go, but I have a good feeling about this." Nearby, Marcus was sharpening his machete, the rhythmic sound of metal against stone punctuating the morning air. His rugged face was set in a mask of determination. Despite his gruff exterior, there was a sense of camaraderie in his movements as he prepared for the journey ahead. Elena, on the other hand, was securing her lock-picking kit and various gadgets. Her nimble fingers deftly tied knots and secured pouches, her playful banter keeping the group's spirits high. "Think we'll find any treasure worth my time, Alex?" she teased, a mischievous grin spreading across her face. "If we do, you'll be the first to crack it open," Alex replied with a chuckle. "Just make sure we all get a fair share." With their preparations complete, the team set off, leaving the safety of their camp behind. They plunged into the dense jungle, the thick foliage closing in around them. The air was humid and filled with the sounds of wildlife, chirping insects, distant calls of exotic birds, and the rustling of unseen creatures. Alex led the way, using the map and compass to navigate. The terrain was challenging, with uneven ground, tangled roots, and dense underbrush. He frequently consulted Maya, who cross-referenced the map with her knowledge of ancient paths and landmarks. "Look here," Maya said, pointing to a peculiar arrangement of stones covered in moss. "These markers indicate we're on the right track." They were often used by ancient civilizations to guide travelers. "Good to know we're heading in the right direction," Alex said, his confidence bolstered by Maya's expertise. The group encountered natural barriers, fallen trees that had to be climbed over, streams that had to be waded through, and steep inclines that required careful navigation. Marcus took charge in these moments, using his strength and experience to help the others. He hacked away at thick vines, created makeshift bridges with fallen branches, and provided a steady hand for anyone who needed it. Elena proved her worth with her agility and resourcefulness. She found hidden pathways, identified safe spots to rest, and used her climbing skills to scout ahead when the terrain allowed. "Watch your step here," she warned as they approached a particularly tricky section of the trail. "The ground is slippery." As dusk approached, the group found a suitable clearing to set up camp. The spot was chosen for its defensibility and access to fresh water. They quickly set up tents, gathered firewood, and prepared a basic meal. Around the campfire, the adventurers shared stories and laughter, the flickering flames casting long shadows on their faces. "Ever since I was a kid, I've dreamed of adventures like this," Alex began, his voice carrying a note of nostalgia. "My grandfather used to tell me stories of legendary explorers and hidden treasures. I guess those tales stuck with me." Maya smiled, her eyes reflecting the firelight. "For me, it's always been about the thrill of discovery. There's something magical about unearthing secrets that have been buried for centuries. Each artifact tells a story, and I want to be the one to bring those stories to light." Marcus, usually reserved, opened up a bit. "I've seen my share of danger in the mercenary business. But there's something different about this. It's not just about the money. It's about the challenge, the adventure. And maybe, just maybe, finding something worth more than gold." Elena leaned back, a playful grin on her face. "Well, I'm here for the treasure, no doubt about that. But I have to admit, the thrill of the chase is what really gets my blood pumping. Every lock I pick, every trap I disarm, it's a rush like no other." As the night deepened, the jungle around them seemed to come alive with unseen eyes and mysterious sounds. The laughter around the campfire faded, replaced by a tense silence as the group became acutely aware of their isolation. While examining a nearby rock formation, Maya found ancient carvings that seemed to warn of impending danger. The symbols depicted a serpent-like creature and figures in poses of fear and supplication. "Alex, look at this," Maya called softly, her voice tinged with unease. "These carvings, they seem to be a warning." Alex studied the carvings, his brow furrowing. "They must be very old. If they're meant to warn us, we should take them seriously. The temple, and whatever it guards, might be more dangerous than we thought." In the middle of the night, Marcus, who was on watch, heard a rustling sound nearby. He quietly alerted the others, and they armed themselves, ready for whatever might come. Out of the shadows emerged a local tribesman, his face painted with traditional markings, and his demeanor one of urgency rather than hostility. He spoke in a language none of them fully understood, but his gestures and tone conveyed a clear message: the danger was near. The tribesman pointed to the carvings Maya had found earlier, then to the surrounding jungle, his eyes wide with fear. He repeated a single word that Alex recognized from his studies: cursed. Despite the tribesman's warnings, the team decided to continue their quest. The lure of the temple and its treasures was too strong, and Alex believed that their combined skills would see them through any challenges. However, the encounter left a lingering unease among the adventurers. They doubled their vigilance, setting extra watches through the night and preparing for the worst. Before turning in, Alex addressed the group, acknowledging the dangers but reaffirming their mission. "We knew this wouldn't be easy," he began, his voice steady and reassuring. "We faced challenges before, and we've always come through. This will be no different. Stay alert, watch each other's backs, and we'll succeed." The adventurers nodded in agreement, their resolve strengthened by Alex's words. Each member of the team went to sleep with a mix of excitement and trepidation, their dreams filled with visions of the temple and the unknown dangers that awaited them. The first light of dawn filtered through the dense canopy, casting a dappled pattern of light and shadow on the jungle floor. The air was thick with humidity, and the sounds of the jungle began to stir. The adventurers were already up, breaking camp with efficient movements honed by years of experience in the field. Alex was double-checking the map and compass, ensuring their course was set. His mind was sharp, calculating the best routes and potential hazards. He glanced around at his team, feeling a surge of pride and responsibility. "Today's the day we make significant progress," he said, his voice firm. "Stay alert and stick together." Maya packed her archaeological tools with care, her excitement tempered by the ominous carvings they had discovered the previous night. Her thoughts lingered on the tribesman's warning. "Alex, do you think there's any truth to what the tribesman said?" she asked, her voice tinged with worry. "It's hard to say," Alex replied, "but we can't afford to ignore any potential dangers. We proceed with caution." Marcus checked his weapons one last time, his eyes scanning the perimeter for any signs of movement. His years as a mercenary had taught him to trust his instincts. "If we run into trouble, I'll take point," he said gruffly. "Stay behind me and keep your heads down." Elena tightened the straps on her backpack, her fingers deftly securing her gear. Despite the tension, she maintained her usual light-hearted demeanor. "I'll keep an eye out for traps," she said with a wink. "No sense in letting a hidden pitfall ruin our day." The team set out, plunging deeper into the jungle. The terrain grew more challenging as they advanced, the underbrush thicker and the paths less defined. The air was heavy with the scent of damp earth and decaying vegetation, a stark reminder of the jungle's untamed nature. The vegetation was so thick in places that they had to use machetes to cut their way through. Alex and Marcus took turns at the front, their blades slicing through vines and branches. "This is tougher than I thought," Alex admitted, pausing to wipe sweat from his brow. "But we're making progress." The ground began to rise sharply, forcing the adventurers to climb steep, muddy inclines. The effort was exhausting, and they frequently had to stop to catch their breath and ensure their footing. "Careful where you step," Marcus warned. "One wrong move and you could slide right back down." The jungle was teeming with life, and the adventurers had several close encounters with its inhabitants. At one point, a troop of monkeys chattered loudly from the treetops, throwing twigs and leaves at the intruders. "Looks like we've made some new friends," Elena joked, ducking as a twig sailed past her head. After hours of arduous trekking, they stumbled upon the first signs of the ancient civilization they sought. Half buried in the undergrowth were the crumbling remains of what appeared to be a stone wall, covered in intricate carvings. Maya was the first to approach the ruins, her eyes wide with wonder. She ran her fingers over the carvings, her mind racing to decipher their meaning. "These symbols are incredible," she murmured. "They're a mixture of hieroglyphs and pictographs. This could be a key to understanding their culture." Alex joined her, studying the carvings with a critical eye. "Can you make out any specific details?" "Some of these symbols depict everyday life," Maya explained. "But others, they look like warnings. Similar to what we saw last night." Marcus stood guard, his eyes scanning the surrounding jungle. He felt a growing sense of unease, as if they were being watched. "Stay sharp," he cautioned. "We're not alone out here." Elena explored the ruins with a practiced eye, looking for any hidden mechanisms or traps. She found several concealed pressure plates and pointed them out to the others. "Looks like whoever built this place didn't want just anyone wandering in," she said. "Be careful where you step." Following the clues from the carvings, the team pressed on and eventually found themselves at the base of a towering cliff. There, partially obscured by vines and moss, was the entrance to the temple, a massive stone door adorned with more of the mysterious carvings. Alex felt a thrill of excitement as he approached the entrance. "This is it," he said, his voice filled with awe. "We found the temple." Maya examined the door closely, her fingers tracing the intricate patterns. "There's an inscription here," she said. "It's a warning, only the worthy may enter. The unworthy shall face the wrath of the serpent." Marcus tightened his grip on his machete, his eyes narrowing. "Let's hope we're worthy, then. We need to find a way to open this door." Elena steadied the door, her mind working quickly. "There's usually a mechanism or a hidden lever," she said. "Let me see if I can find it." After a few minutes of searching, Elena found a concealed panel. She carefully manipulated the mechanism, and with a grinding sound, the massive stone door began to slowly open. The air inside the temple was cool and damp, a stark contrast to the humid jungle outside. The adventurers stepped inside, their torches casting flickering shadows on the ancient stone walls. The corridor ahead was narrow and winding, leading deeper into the heart of the temple. Alex led the way, his torch held high. "Stay close and watch your step," he instructed. "We don't know what kind of traps or obstacles we might encounter." Maya followed closely, her eyes scanning the walls for any signs of inscriptions or artwork. "This place is incredible," she whispered. "It's like stepping back in time." Marcus kept a vigilant eye on their surroundings, ready to spring into action at a moment's notice. "We need to be careful," he warned. "If the builders were as protective of this place as it seems, we could be walking into a maze of traps." Elena moved with practiced ease, her keen eyes searching for any hidden dangers. "I've got your back," she said confidently. "Just keep moving forward." As they ventured deeper into the temple, the corridor suddenly opened into a larger chamber. The room was filled with ancient statues, their eyes seeming to watch the intruders. In the center of the room was a raised platform, and on it, a large stone chest. Alex approached the platform cautiously. "This looks too easy," he muttered. "There has to be a catch." Maya studied the statues, noting the details of their craftsmanship. "These figures represent the temple's guardians," she said. "They were meant to protect whatever lies within." Marcus examined the floor, looking for any signs of pressure plates or hidden triggers. "There's definitely something here," he said. "We need to be very careful." Elena inspected the stone chest, her fingers lightly tracing its edges. "I've seen traps like this before," she said. "If we trigger it, the whole room could collapse." After a few tense moments, Elena found the hidden mechanism and disarmed it. The chest opened with a soft click, revealing a collection of ancient scrolls and artifacts. The adventurers carefully examined the contents of the chest, their excitement growing with each new discovery. The scrolls were covered in detailed illustrations and writings, and the artifacts were beautifully crafted, hinting at the advanced civilization that once inhabited the temple. Maya was in her element, her eyes wide with wonder as she examined the scrolls. "These writings could be invaluable," she said. "They might hold the key to understanding this entire civilization." Alex studied the artifacts, marveling at their craftsmanship. "We need to document everything," he said. "This is a major discovery." Marcus remained on high alert, his eyes scanning the room for any signs of danger. "We should move quickly," he advised. "The longer we stay here, the greater the risk." Elena carefully packed the scrolls and artifacts, her fingers deftly wrapping them in protective cloth. "Let's get these back to camp," she said. "We can study them more thoroughly there." Just as they were preparing to leave, a sudden noise echoed through the chamber. The adventurers turned to see a group of armed men emerging from the shadows, their faces covered by masks. The leader stepped forward, a sinister smile on his lips. Alex stepped forward, his hand instinctively reaching for his weapon. "Who are you?" he demanded. "What do you want?" The leader chuckled darkly. "We want what you found," he said. "Hand over the artifacts, and no one gets hurt." Maya clutched the scrolls tightly, her eyes wide with fear. "We can't let them take this," she whispered to Alex. Marcus drew his machete, his muscles tensing. "Over my dead body," he growled. Elena scanned the room, her mind racing for an escape plan. We need to move, now, she urged. The sun rose over the dense jungle canopy, casting dappled shadows across the adventurers' campsite. Alex, Maya, Marcus, and Elena gathered around a makeshift table, their faces drawn with determination as they assessed their situation. We need to figure out our next move, Alex declared, his voice firm with resolve. Those attackers won't give up easily, and we can't afford to let them get the upper hand. Maya nodded in agreement, her fingers tracing the ancient scrolls laid out before her. I've been deciphering these texts, she said, her voice low with concentration. There are warnings about traps and dangers within the temple. We need to proceed with caution. Marcus, ever the vigilant sentinel, scanned the perimeter of their camp, his eyes sharp for any signs of danger. We should fortify our defenses, he suggested. Set up some traps, make it harder for them to sneak up on us. Elena, her mind already racing with plans and strategies, chimed in, and we can't forget about the artifacts. We need to ensure they're secure and protected at all times. With their objectives clear, the adventurers set to work. Maya continued her translations, uncovering ancient secrets and hidden dangers within the scrolls. Alex strategized their next steps, mapping out a plan to navigate the temple's treacherous chambers. Marcus reinforced their campsite, setting up traps and defenses to deter any would-be attackers. And Elena examined the artifacts, searching for clues that might aid them in their quest. As the day wore on, the jungle grew still, the only sounds were the rustle of leaves and the distant calls of birds. The adventurers worked tirelessly, their determination unyielding in the face of adversity. And as night fell and the stars twinkled overhead, they knew that they were ready. Ready to face whatever dangers lay ahead, ready to uncover the mysteries of the temple, and ready to emerge victorious, no matter the cost. With their preparations complete, the adventurers steeled themselves for the challenges that awaited them. The temple beckoned, its secrets calling out to be discovered. And as they set out into the darkness, their hearts filled with anticipation and their spirits unshakable, they knew that they were embarking on the adventure of a lifetime. The journey ahead would be perilous, fraught with danger at every turn. But with courage in their hearts and unity in their ranks, the adventurers were ready to face whatever trials lay ahead. For they knew that together, they were unstoppable. And as they ventured deeper into the unknown, their resolve only grew stronger, their determination unbreakable. For they were explorers, adventurers, seekers of truth and knowledge. And nothing would stand in their way. As the adventurers ventured deeper into the ancient temple, each step seemed to echo with the weight of centuries past. The corridors grew narrower, the air colder, and the sense of foreboding more palpable with every passing moment. In the dim illumination of their torches, Alex led the group forward, his resolve unwavering despite the looming shadows that seemed to press in on all sides. Maya walked close beside him, her eyes scanning the walls for any signs or symbols that might offer guidance. We must be getting closer to the heart of the temple, Maya murmured, her voice barely more than a whisper. The scrolls spoke of hidden chambers and ancient guardians. We must proceed with caution. Marcus, always vigilant, kept watch at their rear, his hand never straying far from the hilt of his sword. Elena, with her keen eye for detail, examined the architecture of the temple, searching for any clues that might reveal its secrets. Their footsteps echoed through the corridors, the only sound in the oppressive silence that seemed to weigh down upon them like a heavy shroud. But despite the ominous atmosphere, the adventurers pressed onward, their determination unyielding in the face of the unknown. As they descended further into the depths of the temple, the corridors grew more treacherous, with crumbling walls and hidden traps lying in wait around every corner. But the adventurers navigated them with skill and determination, their senses heightened by the ever-present sense of danger. "We're on the right path," Alex declared, his voice echoing off the ancient stone walls. "We mustn't falter now. The artifact we seek lies ahead." Maya nodded in agreement, her brow furrowed in concentration as she studied the inscriptions etched into the walls. "The scrolls speak of a hidden chamber," she said. "A chamber that holds the key to unlocking the temple's mysteries." With renewed determination, the adventurers pressed onward, their torches casting long shadows that seemed to dance with each flicker of the flame. And as they journeyed deeper into the darkness, they knew that they were drawing closer to their goal. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of winding corridors and hidden passages, the adventurers stumbled upon a hidden chamber concealed deep within the bowels of the temple. The entrance was obscured by centuries of neglect and decay, but Alex's keen eyes spotted it amidst the rubble. "We found it," he exclaimed, his voice filled with excitement and anticipation. "The Chamber of Secrets." With trembling hands, Maya reached out and pushed open the door, revealing a sight that took their breath away. The chamber was filled with ancient relics and artifacts, each one more magnificent than the last. But amidst the treasures, there was something else, something that seemed to pulse with a strange, otherworldly energy. "The artifact," Maya whispered, her voice barely audible over the sound of their beating hearts. "It must be here." With cautious steps, the adventurers entered the chamber, their eyes scanning the room for any signs of danger. But as they drew closer to the artifact, they knew that they were about to uncover secrets that had been hidden for centuries. Suddenly, as if sensing their presence, a figure emerged from the shadows, a towering guardian with eyes that gleamed with an otherworldly light. It raised a massive weapon in warning, its gaze fixed upon the adventurers with a mixture of curiosity and hostility. "We mean you no harm," Alex called out, his voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through his veins. "We seek only to claim the artifact and continue on our journey." But the guardian remained unmoved, its expression inscrutable as it stepped forward to block their path. And as the adventurers prepared to face whatever trials lay ahead, they knew that they were about to embark on the most perilous challenge of their lives. In the heart of the ancient temple, amidst the shadows of betrayal and the whispers of forgotten secrets, the adventurers stood ready to confront their destiny. But little did they know that their greatest challenges still lay ahead, and the true test of their courage and determination was yet to come. The adventurers stood in the heart of the ancient temple, facing the imposing figure of the guardian. The chamber was grand, adorned with towering statues of mythical beasts and ancient warriors. The walls were lined with intricate tapestries depicting the history of the temple and its guardians. The air was thick with a sense of anticipation as the adventurers stood before the guardian, their hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and determination. The guardian, a towering figure clad in armor adorned with intricate symbols, stood before them, its eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light. As it spoke, its voice reverberated through the chamber, commanding attention and respect. "We have come to claim the artifact," Alex declared, his voice steady despite the tension that hung in the air. The guardian regarded them silently for a moment before speaking. "To claim the artifact, you must prove yourselves worthy," it intoned, its voice echoing off the chamber walls. With a gesture, the guardian summoned forth the first trial. The adventurers found themselves transported to a circular arena within the chamber, surrounded by towering pillars etched with runes of power. The ground beneath their feet was smooth and polished, offering little in the way of traction. "To prove your strength and determination, you must face me in physical combat," the guardian declared. Alex and Marcus stepped forward, their muscles tense and their grips firm on their weapons. The guardian raised its massive mace, its eyes gleaming with anticipation as it charged forward. With a battle cry, Alex and Marcus met the guardian's onslaught head-on. Blades clashed, and the sound of metal reverberated through the chamber as the battle ensued. With each strike, the ground shook beneath their feet, threatening to send them tumbling to the ground. But Alex and Marcus fought with determination and skill, their swords flashing in the dim light as they parried the guardian's attacks. With a final, decisive blow, they managed to disarm the guardian, sending its weapon clattering to the ground. The guardian regarded them with a nod of approval before summoning forth the second trial. The adventurers found themselves in a library filled with towering bookshelves and ancient manuscripts. Shafts of light filtered in through stained glass windows, casting a warm glow over the room. "To prove your intellect and problem-solving abilities, you must decipher a series of complex puzzles and riddles," the guardian explained. Maya and Elena exchanged a determined glance before setting to work. Maya scanned the shelves, her fingers tracing the spines of the ancient tomes as she searched for clues hidden within their pages. Elena examined the mechanisms of the puzzles, her mind racing as she formulated hypotheses and solutions. Together, Maya and Elena pieced the puzzle laid out before them, using their combined knowledge and intuition to unlock the secrets of the chamber. With a triumphant shout, they solved the final riddle, and the chamber shimmered before fading away. The adventurers found themselves in a realm of darkness and shadows, where their deepest fears and doubts manifested as spectral illusions. The air was thick with a sense of unease as they confronted their inner demons. Alex battled with memories of past battles lost, Maya grappled with the weight of responsibility, Marcus confronted the ghosts of his past, and Elena battled with self-doubt. Yet, through sheer determination and unwavering solidarity, they found the courage to press on, their bond stronger than ever before. With the trials completed, the Guardian's demeanor softened, and it stepped forward to address the adventurers. The chamber was bathed in a warm, ethereal light as the Guardian imparted its wisdom and guidance. "You have proven yourselves worthy," the Guardian declared. "Take the artifact and continue your journey. May the light of the ancients guide your path." As the adventurers prepared to depart from the temple, the chamber was filled with a sense of anticipation and excitement. Each adventurer shared a moment of quiet reflection as they prepared to leave the temple behind, their hearts filled with anticipation for the trials and adventures that lay ahead. With the artifact in hand and their spirits renewed, the adventurers set their sights on the horizon, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them in the world beyond. The team begins their journey back to the surface, carrying the artifact. The sense of triumph fades quickly as tension thickens the air. Alex leads, feeling something is wrong. Every step echoes with dread. A strange desire starts to creep into their minds. Alex imagines the power and knowledge the artifact could bring him. Maya sees fame and recognition. Marcus envisions ultimate triumph. Elena thinks about the wealth it could bring. The artifact's pull grows stronger. Small arguments break out over trivial matters. Who should hold the artifact? Which route to take? The unity that carried them through the trials is now fraying. Suspicion grows among them. Strange phenomena occur, flickering torchlights, echoing whispers, and ghostly apparitions. The artifact pulses with a sickly glow. Maya, recalling the tribal leader's warning, voices her fears. "This is exactly what he warned us about," she says, but her concerns are ignored. As they near the exit, the curse's influence intensifies. Heated debates replace mild arguments. Alex feels betrayed, accusing Maya of wanting the artifact. Maya retorts, "I'm not the one clutching it like a madman." Marcus steps in, trying to focus them on escaping. Elena tries to mediate. In the final chamber before the exit, the tension is unbearable. Each adventurer is on edge, ready to claim the artifact for themselves. Alex hesitates at the threshold, the artifact's pull stronger than ever. On the brink of freedom, the curse takes full effect. The adventurers face off, each ready to fight for the artifact. Alex clutches it tightly, saying, "We've come too far to let it go now." Maya pleads, "Alex, listen to me. This thing is dangerous." Marcus growls, "I'm not leaving without it." Elena steps closer, "We need to decide now." The adventurers finally emerged from the temple, feeling a brief sense of relief. But as they stepped into the dense, shadowy jungle, the oppressive atmosphere quickly returned. The jungle was thick with underbrush, and towering trees cast deep shadows, blocking out most of the sunlight. The air was humid and filled with the sounds of rustling leaves and distant animal calls. Alex led the group, his senses heightened and his nerves on edge. "We're out, but it feels like the jungle is closing in on us," he muttered. Maya, walking beside him, scanned their surroundings with a wary eye. "We can't let our guard down. The curse is still affecting us." The jungle around them seemed alive, with shadows moving and whispering voices echoing through the trees. The group felt a growing sense of paranoia and unease, as if the jungle itself was watching and waiting. At times, the jungle was eerily silent, only to burst with sudden noises that made the adventurers jumpy. The trees seemed to move and whisper in an incomprehensible language, and the path they followed seemed to shift as if leading them in circles. As the adventurers trudged through the jungle, they found a small clearing where they decided to rest and regroup. The clearing was circular, with grass underfoot and surrounded by dense trees. The sky was barely visible through the thick canopy above. Elena noticed the artifact beginning to glow brighter, casting an eerie light across the clearing. "The artifact is reacting to something. We need to do something about it," she said, her voice tinged with concern. Marcus frowned, watching the artifact warily. "It's like it's feeding off our emotions." Strange occurrences began to intensify around them. Wildlife behaved unnaturally, predators fled from prey, birds fell silent, and insects swarmed erratically. The weather changed suddenly from calm to stormy, and the adventurers experienced hallucinations. The artifact pulsed with a sickly, greenish light, casting unnatural shadows. The air grew thick and hard to breathe as if the jungle itself was alive and hostile. The atmosphere grew increasingly tense. Because the adventurers' desires to possess the artifact became overwhelming, and verbal arguments quickly escalated into physical confrontations. They accused each other of plotting to steal the artifact. Alex became particularly aggressive, stepping forward and demanding, "I've had enough. Hand it over, now." Maya, trying to keep her composure, retorted, "You're not thinking straight, Alex." "None of us are." Marcus stepped between them, his expression fierce. "I won't let any of you take it from me." Elena tried to intervene, her voice desperate. "We need to find a way to break this curse." The group began to form alliances and break them just as quickly. Tension mounted as every small action was scrutinized and mistrusted. Physical altercations were short but intense, leaving the group visibly exhausted and wary. As the sun began to set, casting long, sinister shadows across the clearing, the situation grew even more chaotic. Suddenly, a mysterious figure appeared, cloaked and shadowed, intervening to stop the conflict. "Stop! The artifact is manipulating you." "There's a way to break its hold," the figure called out, their voice calm yet commanding. Alex whirled around, suspicion in his eyes. "Who are you? Why should we trust you?" The figure stepped forward, revealing themselves to be a former adventurer who had also fallen victim to the artifact but had found a way to resist its pull. They spoke with authority and calm, their presence somehow soothing the group's anger. "I know what you're going through," the figure said. "But there is a way to break the curse. Follow me." The mysterious figure led the group through the jungle to a sacred site nearby, possibly an ancient altar or a hidden grove. The sacred site was bathed in an ethereal light, with ancient symbols carved into the stones and a tranquil atmosphere that contrasted sharply with the chaos they had just experienced. "You must perform a challenging ritual to cleanse the artifact of its curse," the figure explained. "It requires cooperation and trust, with each of you playing a crucial role." The adventurers formed a circle around the artifact, placing it in the center. The sacred site was a circle of standing stones, each covered in ancient runes. They held hands, and the ritual began, involving chanting, focusing their energy, and a symbolic act such as drawing blood or sharing a personal secret. Maya took a deep breath, her voice steady. "We have to do this. We can't let it win." As the ritual progressed, the sacred site became shrouded in darkness, with the artifact's glow illuminating the adventurers' faces. Each adventurer faced their deepest fears and desires projected by the artifact. Alex saw visions of past battles lost and the lives he couldn't save. "I see all my failures," he whispered, his voice breaking. Maya faced visions of her family and friends rejecting her for her ambition. "I'm not just chasing glory. I need to believe that," she said, tears streaming down her face. Marcus saw the faces of those he'd hurt and betrayed in his past. "I can't keep running from my past," he muttered, his fists clenched. Elena confronted her deepest insecurities and moments of self-doubt. "I am stronger than my doubts," she declared, her voice filled with determination. The adventurers had to confront and overcome these inner demons to contribute to the ritual's success. The psychological and emotional intensity was overwhelming, but they pushed through, driven by their determination to break the curse. As the ritual reached its peak, the sacred site began to glow with a powerful light. The adventurers channeled their collective strength to purge the artifact of its curse. They performed a dramatic and symbolic act of unity, such as holding hands around the artifact or chanting in unison. Alex, his voice filled with conviction, said, "Together, we can end this." In unison, the adventurers chanted, "For our journey. For our unity." The artifact's light intensified, pulsing in time with the adventurers' chants. A wave of energy emanated from the artifact, passing through each adventurer and binding them together. The artifact's glow slowly faded, signaling the end of the curse. With the curse broken and the artifact purified, the jungle clearing felt calm and peaceful. The clearing was bathed in soft sunlight, and the jungle around them felt less oppressive. Maya looked around, a smile spreading across her face. "We did it. We broke the curse." Marcus nodded, a sense of relief washing over him. We were stronger together. Elena glanced at the purified artifact, now emitting a gentle, comforting glow. What now? With the artifact purified? Alex smiled, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. We move forward. Together. The group felt a renewed sense of camaraderie and trust. They made plans to return to the village and report their success. The journey had been long and arduous, but they had emerged stronger and wiser. The artifact, now purified, symbolized their unity and victory. It was a testament to their resilience and the strength of their bond. As they prepared to leave the jungle and continue their journey, they knew that they could face whatever challenges lay ahead, as long as they stood together.
Thank you for watching. Sweet dreams.